You may be seated. We've got some special guests here with us this morning. Let's welcome our VBS children and their leaders as they come up today. Come on in, guys. Find your way to the front. Yes, join us up here. Come on down. Right up in the front here. Right up with Miss Dawn. Keep on going. There you go. Yeah, time to sing. Yeah, we need to hear your song.
You have to have this on your nose. You have to have this on your nose. Well, now. Yes, I will. Hey. Hey guys, now put the glasses on. Yeah. Hi, Jane. I don't want to. I'm gonna put Jane. Hey guys. Do that kind of whole song. No, that's gonna hurt. Okay, guys.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Polar Blast celebration. My name is Miss Dawn. That's what everybody calls me. And this is our great, cool band that we had for VBS, Chili Willy and the Polar Bears. And I've been the music and more leader during the Polar Blast Vacation Bible School. In the past few days, we've been chilling with some amazing kids. Look at all these amazing kids up here. And we've been discovering that Jesus will always love us. Cool. That's our Bible point. That's what we've been learning this weekend, by the way. And whenever you hear me say Jesus will always love you, we're going to say cool. Let's try it again. Jesus will always love you. Cool. All right, guys, let's show everybody all of the two songs that we learned. And you guys, I want you to sing it nice and loud today. Don't shout it, just nice.
To all the congregation out there, Jesus will always love you. Not everyone's doing it. And we will not begin this song until I see everybody do this. Jesus will always love you. There's still two people are not moving. You're not. Okay.
Through God, I will overcome. and we're thanking God the million reasons for all the things that He does for us. So I'm gonna sing it, and then you guys are gonna repeat it. Okay? There we go.
Dawn, Jesus will always love you.
Jesus will always love you. Cool.
You're still learning.
Thank you, God, for saving me. Rescue from the middle of the ocean deep. You set my feet on solid ground. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Everything I have, I owe it all to you. For everything you are and all you do, Lord, I can write a book, fill every single page with a million reasons to thank you, Lord. Thank you, God, for the big blue sky. And birds that fly so high. And thank you, God, for all my friends. Thank you, God, for your awesomeness. Everything I have, I owe it all to you. For everything you are and all you do, Lord, I can write a book, fill every single page with a million reasons. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, God, for all you've done. Help me out. Gave your one and only Son. Now I can have eternal life. Thank you, God, for my open eyes. All right, nice and loud. Everything I have, I owe it all to you. For everything you are and all you do, Lord, I can write a book, fill every single page with a million reasons. Everything I have, I owe it all to you. For everything you are and all you do, Lord, I can write a book, fill every single page with a million reasons to thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
So grateful for these kids. Yes? Bye, Wes.
Hi, Wes.
Everybody follow Wes. That's just good advice. Very, very good. If you guys want to get in
Thank
on
you,
that
Chili
snow
Willy and the
machine, we
polar
can.
bears.
Yes. We can enjoy that snow machine a little bit later after the worship gathering here today. Those are some first-class hairdos, I gotta say. Well, friends, the peace of the Lord be with you all.
Also with you.
Let's stand up as you're able. Take a moment, share the peace with one another. Tell someone you're glad you saw that snow machine before you died. That was good.
Whew. Well, we could tell you a lot about all the flurry of fun that we had at Polar Blast. As you can see, all the snow that we had, the kids had a blast. But sometimes pictures say much more than words. So we put together, or Adam put together a nice slideshow so that we can see the fun in action and hear and see what we learned from the Bible, and we're going to watch that right now.
I don't know where I'm going. I don't know who to be. I don't know where I'm going, but I'll keep trying, trying to be me. I'll keep trying, trying to be me. I can't hold back my fire. My plane leaves on a Friday. No one forced me to leave. All of the mountains are beside me.
Awesome. I saw a lot of smiles all weekend on all the children's faces, and it was really awesome. Another highlight of our VBS was meeting our new friend, Dr. Jack Frost. Dr. Frost had warmed up to us. In fact, he came back today. So could you guys help me welcome our scientist, Dr. Jack Frost?
Eureka! Eureka! I've done it! I've done it! Woohoo!
Well,
I did it!
Wow.
I did it!
Dr. Frost, what is it?
I did it! I finally cracked the code!
What code?
The code of how penguins communicate to one another. This means we're close to understanding what they're saying.
Wow, that sounds pretty exciting. So what do penguins talk about?
Fish! They talk about fish a lot! And America's Got Talent, for some reason. Apparently they're big fans.
Really? Are you sure you've cracked the code? I don't think penguins watch TV. I don't think penguins even have TV.
I mean, that's what my data tell me.
Are you sure you didn't make a mistake?
No, I mean, maybe. How could I be wrong? I've worked for so hard, for so long.
I don't know. You're the expert.
This is what I was afraid of. I was working so hard to impress the scientists and everyone here in the Arctic that I must have made a mistake. And if I did make a mistake, it means I need to stay here longer. And to be quite honest, I don't want to. I mean, I've loved meeting everyone here, but it's so cold here. And when everyone's not around, it's lonely. And everything smells like fish.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that. I thought it was coming from you, but maybe spending so much time with those penguins. Gee, thanks. Well, why don't you just go home if you're so unhappy?
But then I'd be a failure. People would laugh at me and say I'd just blown it. None of the other scientists would want to hang out with me.
No, I know it's hard, but remember what we've learned? That Jesus will always love you. Cool. You're not a failure in Jesus' eyes. Whether you stay or go, he's the best friend that you could ever have.
You know what? You're right. That's all that really matters. It makes me feel better, knowing that I don't have to impress Jesus or come up with something big and important to make him like me. I mean, there's no pressure to get everything right every single time.
That's right.
Well, I am getting along better with the other scientists, and I think I would like to give this code another try. Just for fun. I mean, the plane to take me away isn't going to be here for another week or so anyway.
Okay, I think that sounds like a plan.
I think so. Thank you all for
Dr.
everything.
Frost. Kids loved him. Dr. Frost was discovering how much Jesus' love changes our lives. Our Bible reminds us that I trust in your unfailing love. And one of the things we did with the kids was we did a little sign language is I trust in your unfailing love. So the kids were learning that this weekend as well. We trust in Jesus' unfailing love. We don't have to worry about being perfect or impressing him or trying to follow a list of rules. We can enjoy a friendship with Jesus that's based just on unconditional love. That friendship with Jesus changes our hearts, and we want to be more like Jesus. At Polar Blast, the kids lived out Jesus' love and service through something we call Projects with a Purpose. So I'm going to have the Projects with a Purpose leader come on up and explain to you how that all works.
So our projects with the purpose, is this on? Now? It's green. Hello?
I'll give it the blue one. How about try this one?
Okay. Is that working? Okay, there we go. Okay, so our projects with the purpose this year, we wanted to choose something that the kids could actually be involved in. So we went with knitting scarves for the homeless and Dress a Girl, which actually turned out to be really fabulous. We showed the kids these two short videos, one for Dress a Girl and one that was made with the distribution of the scarves last year. And the kids were amazed at what they saw. They couldn't believe what the girls had to wear, and it really impressed them. So the project for Dress a Girl was putting a bow from one of the dresses that we have made in the past year on this little prayer card, which I hope you guys will pick up. I put them on the counter out there by the coffee. And basically it says, somewhere in the world, a girl has a dress in this fabric. Pray for her and share the blessing. So we want all of you to share the blessing of praying for each girl that has gotten a dress. For the scarves, we're almost there. So this was sort of the before and after, you know, before they got the dresses and after they got the dresses. This is the scarf video. And the scarf project for the kids, we explained to them how we did the scarves, how we sat down as a group, knit them, and then we have these cards that we put on them that you see right there. Basically it says, if you're cold, please be bold, take a scarf, it's free, just like salvation. Accept it and be blessed. The kids were so into this, I think they put together cards on about 60 scarves. And we were hoping that at least some of the kids would be interested in coming to Dress a Girl, learning to knit, and we probably have at least 10 that have expressed an interest. So we are very blessed with that. The highlight for the leaders of Projects with a Purpose was one little boy, Noah. He was in the first and second grade group. And I didn't really think that he was getting it. But he said a prayer at the end of the session that just touched our hearts. And I want to end with that. He said, Please, God, let all of the homeless people get a scarf so they'll be warm. And please let every little girl that needs clothes get a dress. Amen.
Pretty exciting week, I gotta say. Well, why don't we stand together for the reading of the good news?
Good morning. Now all the tax collectors and sinners were coming near to listen to him, and the Pharisees and the scribes were grumbling and saying, "This fellow welcomes sinners and eats with them." So he told them this parable. Which one of you, having 100 sheep and losing one of them, does not leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after the one that is lost until he finds it? When he has found it, he lays it on his shoulders and rejoices. How far?
That's perfect. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Thank you, Betty. Sorry about that. You may be seated.
So we only lost 2 kids during Vacation Bible School. I'm just teasing. We didn't lose any kids. We didn't quite have 99 kids, but we had an excellent turnout. It was a fantastic weekend. If you don't know me, I'm Cindy Wallace, and I get to be married to Greg, but I also get to be the director of children's ministry here at St. John's. And we had an incredible team, a fabulous weekend. There were so many people that helped out and made this weekend possible. I know many of you donated food, you donated money, you've been praying for us and praying for our leaders. At one point, we had 33 adults signed up and 31 kids signed up. So we were pretty good ratios. But then we were able to get a few more kids, and God was so faithful in that. So I hope it was fun for you to see their joy this morning and get to experience a little bit of what we did this weekend. The kids definitely keep us on our toes. But one of the things that we kept saying, as you heard Dawn, is we talk about how Jesus will always love us. And then the kids would all say, "Cool." And we put together early this morning this little jar, and these are fun little things we get to play with in children's ministry. So if you ever want to play with stuff, or you like slimy stuff, you can volunteer to work with the kids, and I'd love to have you. But these are called Cool Cubes, and they kind of look like Jell-O. They're really not slimy. Do I need to tell all of you they're not edible? Don't eat them, okay? But we get to play with them. But they're Cool Cubes is what they're called, but they represent for us, when we put them together, all the cool things that happened over the weekend. The cool leaders who helped, the cool sets that were made, the cool volunteers, and especially the cool children. If any of you helped in Vacation Bible School in any way, just wave your hand. Donations, prayers. I know there were people behind the scenes set up. Nancy Duty was awesome. It was like 2 days before or something. She said, "Do you need help with registration?" I was like, "Yes, we do." And Janice Immel was thrilled to have you. So thank you for stepping in and supporting the children's ministries that we do. But what we want to do right now is pass these out. And Kevin and Greg have these for you. So on each pew, on each row, we're going to have a Cool Cube. And you're going to get to hold it in your hand. And you hold it like this. They really aren't sticky. They're just kind of fun. But if you don't want to hold it, you don't have to. And you hold your fingers out like this. If you close your fingers, you crush them. So you want to hold your fingers out like this. And think for a moment about the cool, unique way that God has made you. And what is it that's special about you and the way God has made you? And maybe, like some of the kids would say, is I'm crazy cool trampoline flipper, or I'm crazy cool at swinging on the swing sets or riding my bike. Maybe I'm a crazy cool nurse and I spent a lot of years taking care of sick people or caring for others in different ways. But something special about you that was so cool. And if you would just hold it and think about that, maybe turn to a neighbor for just a minute and share something cool about how God has made you. So turn to someone, and then you can pass it to someone else and let them hold it for a minute. We can pass them around. But take a moment, talk to your neighbor, something cool or unique about who you are and how God has made you. Yeah, do you need more? So when we think about all the unique ways, did you hear anything cool about someone else? Maybe something you didn't know? Did you think of something unique about you? Did you guys lose it? Did it slip out of your hands? I don't know, just kind of fun, but it's a visual reminder. One of the things we try to do is tactile things that will remind kids about that. And since it's VBS Sunday, you get to play with us a little bit today. But Kevin and Greg, would you guys mind collecting them back again? I know that went really fast. But if you want to keep it, you can keep it. And the kids were like desperate to take these home. You could probably sell them for $10 in the parking lot. But what's really neat about this image for the kids, and for me too, is that individually we're unique and we're cool, but all together we create this, we create the church, right? We create the body of Christ, and we get to be together for his kingdom and for his glory. And man, we had a lot of fun. But I don't know if any of you have ever been lonely, or you felt like maybe the cool things about you, nobody noticed. Nobody was paying attention. And maybe like that sheep, you felt lost, or you felt lonely, you felt afraid. I was remembering a time when Micah was about 5 years old, and we were at one of those festivals where, like a carnival festival, and there were booths and going from place to place. And we turned around, and it was at Halloween time, and he was Spider-Man. And we turned around, and he was gone. I mean, we just couldn't find him. He was missing. And so we went looking to find Micah. And I don't know if you've ever had a child, or maybe you've been that child and you were lost, probably lonely and afraid. I know for me, the panic set in. What truly was only a few minutes felt like days when you're looking for your son. And Spider-Man was really popular that year as we went looking, and we were trying to find him. And it was Spider-Man, but it was never him. And so we split up with our friends, and it was a few minutes. And sure enough, there was Micah sitting at the booth, just chatting away with the guy that was running the booth, like Micah does. He talks to strangers. But in those moments when you're lost, sometimes we know we're lost, sometimes we don't. Because my heart was like, my only thing is to find my son right now. How am I going to find him? And I think that's what Jesus does with us when we get separated from the sheepfold, when we get separated from him. Sometimes we feel lonely. We feel like nobody sees us. We feel like we begin to be invisible, like nobody knows our pain and our hurt. Perhaps we've forgotten who we are and what our identity is, and we feel like nobody sees us. Whoa. Thanks, I have no children here, so good, thanks, honey. Whoa, we feel invisible, like nobody sees us. But just like these cool cubes, they're still in there. They still exist. They're still there. Those unique things about us, they're still there. And God always sees that. He always sees us. And just like the sheep, when the sheep got separated in the Bible reading today, Jesus runs after us because we're never invisible to him. I don't know if you saw, if anybody's on social media, I put this picture up this week, and he throw it up there for me. Thanks. How to spot a VBS volunteer. Obviously, glitter in the hair, maybe snow everywhere. For us, that would be better. Brightly colored, obnoxious t-shirts. Family on the other end saying, when are you coming home? I miss you. That was my family this week in preparation. This weekend, they were all here in the chaos with me. I don't know, we drank a lot of coffee, stopped using a mug, and went straight to it. On the bottom, it says, The volunteers think to themselves the whole time, this is my last year, but they volunteer again next year. So the kitchen crew did amazing. They were fantastic. Janice Goodwin headed up a team in there. They've already came to me and said, we want to be your kitchen crew next year. We've got the menu down. We've got a good team. I'm like, great, check that off. I'm not asking my small group leaders today if they're ready to do it next year. I need to give them a few weeks to catch up on their sleep. But I love the running shoes, and it says for chasing after that one kid. I don't know if you remember your own kids or perhaps working in children's ministry, running after kids when they get separated. We did have a few that were runners, but they never ran too far. But I love that image when we think about the lost sheep, when we think about Jesus who runs after us, that we're never too far from him. We're never far away because he's running after us. He sees us. He knows us. He's never forgotten us. We're right there, unique and special. And he runs after us, and he brings us back into the fold. And we get to be the church together. We get to be the family of God together. So thank you for supporting children's ministry. Thanks for sitting through the chaos and the fun this morning. I just want to just continue to thank you. And on behalf of the children, we thank you for that. Amen.